2016 presidential candidate and former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie announced his 2024 presidential campaign on Tuesday, June 6th. Christie served 2 terms as governor of New Jersey, winning re-election for his second term in 2013 by a 22-point margin in the solidly blue state that had voted for Democratic President Barack Obama by 18 points a year prior. Although his 2016 presidential campaign failed, he dropped out after finishing 10th in Iowa and 6th in New Hampshire, Christie delivered a memorable takedown of Marco Rubio in a February 2016 debate. After dropping out of the race, Christie endorsed Donald Trump, becoming one of his first major backers in the 2016 GOP primary process. Now, over 7 years later, Christie launches another presidential run, primarily focused on taking down the former president. Trump passed over Christie for a variety of key positions in his administration, and Christie ultimately turned on him after the January 6th Capitol riot. Christie has unleashed attack after attack on Trump, calling him a child and trying to provoke him into a 2024 GOP primary debate. Christie has also recently taken aim at Trump's fellow 2024 frontrunner Ron DeSantis, the Florida governor, saying he is not ready for the prime time and is not a true conservative. New York Mets owner Steve Cohen, one of the wealthiest men in the world, will be Christie's primary financial backer. That said, the former governor has a lot of work to do to become the Republican nominee, given his weak polling numbers. A recent SSRS poll listed him at 2% support, his highest showing of the year. And given that President Trump is still very popular with Republicans, Christie may find it difficult to win the nomination by criticizing the former president. Now, in case you missed it, Decision Desk HQ's Zachary Danini released an article breaking down GOP primary voters into 5 groups of voters in detail. In this video, we will be examining Christie's Republican primary prospects based on these 5 groups. So do be sure to go ahead and read over that article, which you can check out at decisiondeskhq.com, and will be the very first link in the description down below. Now, to begin Christie's scouting report, let's start with his strengths. As a Republican governor of a generally liberal northeastern state, he certainly boasts less of a hardline conservative record than his many 2024 GOP counterparts. He signed legislation to legalize bump stocks and outlaw conversion therapy, negotiated a bipartisan budget plan that increased education and pension funding, and voiced support for civil unions when most of the Republican Party opposed them. The Atlantic even published an article called "Chris Christie is Becoming Democrats' Favorite Republican," touting his implementation of Obamacare and moderate social views. That said, social moderates may make up Christie's only electoral coalition this cycle. Given that he criticized the former president more than any other candidate in the field, he probably won't perform well with Trump's base. Moving on, given Christie's history of supporting socially moderate policies, it is hard to see why voters who identify with the evangelical right would support him. Christie will also be unlikely to reach out to these voters in the same way as other more traditionally conservative candidates, such as Tim Scott, which further lowers his ability to woo voters who may be skeptical of both Trump and DeSantis. As for the populist right, Christie at one point could have earned the support of these more new guard Republican voters. He at least has a history of rebuffing the Republican establishment and lashing out at big business. However, he has recently taken aim at the 2 most important populist fighters in his party, Trump and DeSantis, even though they have much higher levels of name recognition and support within the Republican base. Looking ahead, given his low polling numbers and relatively small chance of securing the nomination, Christie appears likely to go on the attack for as long as he stays in the race. That said, in order for that to happen, he will need to satisfy the Republican National Committee's criteria to qualify for the debates. Candidates will need to receive at least 1% in 3 separate polls and have at least 40,000 donors. As things stand, he may not even meet those standards to make the debates. That is the Decision Desk HQ preview of Chris Christie's primary campaign. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click that like button down below if you did indeed like the video, and subscribe to the channel down below if you haven't already as well. Also, check out more content from our channel here, and we'll catch you next time.